as the Director of Science Education for an exotic animal sanctuary. He spends every day teaching biology to kids by wrestling caimans, wrangling boa constrictors, and this says ticking lemurs. I'm going to pretend that says tickling lemurs. It should say tickling lemurs. There we go, my instincts were correct. You guys give it up for Forrest Mayer.
Thank you so much. Today, I want to present to you a new way of thinking. Something radical. Something revolutionary. I propose to you today that apples are good to eat, and that eating rat poison will kill you. Thank you. I feel like we can all agree on these facts. Despite the fact that eating too many apples, or maybe just one or two of the chemicals in them, could potentially be dangerous. Despite the fact that lots of venoms and toxins are used to make life-saving medicines. Despite the fact that the apple itself could be poisoned. Despite the fact that you could theoretically eat small amounts of rat poison and build up a tolerance to it and then eat it without harm. Despite the fact that there are countless other healthy and non-healthy foods to eat. Despite all this disparity, the sciences of human health and nutrition remain pretty well sound and agreed upon. We agree that there are facts to be known about these topics, and that we can use those facts to make good decisions in the future. Now, if we can make objective fact statements about things that are good for us as individuals, why is it that when we make objective statements about what's good for society or humanity as a whole, things like teaching children proven science is good, and continuing to pollute the atmosphere with carbon emissions is bad, the conversation changes to emotion, religion, culture, tradition, or political parties? We have a great many debates to be paying attention to in this country right now. In this era, we're discussing things like criminal justice reform, abortion care, immigration, gun control, police accountability and brutality, recreational drug use, universal health care, and no matter what side of these issues you find yourself on, we should all be able to agree that these questions do have right and wrong answers, and that those answers matter and have big implications for the rest of society. I propose that just admitting that there is such a thing as a right answer, and maybe many right and wrong answers for these types of questions, means that those answers must necessarily be independent of our subjective experiences. Our cultures, our traditions, our feelings cannot influence or inform the reality of these answers. Now, of course, everyone is entitled to their own opinion. But this way of thinking is important because not everyone is entitled to their own facts. There are facts to be known about these types of things, and they don't change based on your preference. Take, for example, the Earth. It's round, y'all. It doesn't matter if you're a member of the Flat Earth Society or if you're intelligent. Either way, the Earth remains round, rat poison remains unhealthy, and as long as we have data to back them up, we should be using facts in this way as the jumping off point for every social and political discussion. Now, this does not mean that, let me tell you this. For example, the Jewish tradition of ceremonially washing one's hands is a good practice, but it would be a good practice whether or not it was a cultural tradition. Microbiology does not change based on your background. So this does not mean that the two fields of subjective experience and objective reality are completely separated, just that they're independent. This also doesn't mean that once everyone agrees on the facts, we're all going to come to the same conclusions. Just like grabbing and shaking a dog's tail won't force it to become happy with you, showing someone all the evidence won't always make them accept it. But it will change the way that we have conversations in this country when we can no longer accurately guess your political party based on your religion and your tax bracket. When we no longer have state representatives saying that they know that women feel like that's their bodies, but he feels like they're just hosts. Or senators throwing snowballs across the Senate floor because despite what the experts say, he knows his God controls the climate, not us. It's time that we shut down this populist message that the common man's gut instincts are more reliable and more important than evidence and reason. It's time we started thinking more than feeling. It's time we started holding our legislators accountable to data, not to traditions. And it's time we accepted the fact that there are facts to be known about how best to progress into the future. This is the only way that I see us being able to keep up or even survive in a rapidly globalizing and industrializing world. There are facts to be known about how best to progress, and we will find those facts out there, not in here. Thank you.